We have the Deputy Chief Executive Officer here, Amoateng Afriyie, and he has a special message for you. Please, put your hands together as he comes in.
Thank you, Kweku. And it's good to see so many familiar faces. I can see my landlord is here, Gold Key Properties. In fact, GIPC rents from Gold Key Properties. I see Val and Devtraco Plus and other notable real estate developers here. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. It is indeed a pleasure for me personally to be amongst friends, and for GIPC, the state organization responsible for mobilizing foreign direct investment, to be here. This subject, real estate, is particularly pertinent as we battle the current global economic headwinds that is impacting investment decisions globally. And indeed, Ghana is not exempted from that. Real estate, as you know, when done properly, is one of the most profitable and stable investment choices that anybody can make. And I am a living testimony of that investment choice. In Ghana, for example, we should not speak out of turn. Ghana is indeed a high risk, high growth, and high return market for real estate. And the advantages in investing in real estate in Ghana include the ability to generate wealth and recurring income, particularly for those of you who are here who want to diversify. You can use that equity as leverage. You can diversify your portfolio. And in an environment where we're talking about cost of living crisis, inflationary pressures, and so on, real estate is one of the guarantees against inflation. There are also a number of immeasurable benefits to investing in real estate, not just here, but in Ghana and indeed globally. For example, improving your communities. For those of you who want to play in that responsible and impact investment space, real estate also offers you that. It also helps us to address the development and deficit paradigm that we have in Ghana. Importantly and simply, it provides housing for people and families. And it is also an important foundational network to build relationships with people like yourselves. And in that respect, friends, over the last 5 years, Ghana's real estate sector has grown astronomically. And the evidence is visible at an annual average of about 8.1%, with growth rates of 19.9%, 11.7%, and 11.9% respectively in 2019, 2020, and 2021. So despite the current headwinds and the challenges that the economy is facing, this sector remains buoyant in terms of confidence and returns. The real estate sector's contribution to our national income, our GDP, almost doubled from 1.8% to 3% in 2021. And between 2016 and 2021, the sector recorded a compounded annual growth rate of 30%. That is instructive, 30%. And real estate activity is expected to grow averagely at 6.5% annually between 2023 and 2025. So for those of you that want to invest, use real estate as an investment piece, I think these figures are really instructive and you should take note of them. The sector, as has already been spoken here, and I'm sure the developers will go into the detail, is comprised of the office market, retail market, industrial market, and residential market subsectors. On the residential market segment, there is a deficit in affordable housing that needs immediate addressing, and I contend that government can only do so much. And it falls on you, the developers who are here, to really help government close that gap. In the office market segment, for example, it is growing astronomically. In GIPC, as I indicated earlier, is a tenant in one of Gold Key's properties. And this is growing as a result of the vibrancy in the services sector and the growing services need that we have in Ghana. And ladies and gentlemen, I want us to move the conversation beyond the confines of Accra and Tema. Ghana is not Accra and Tema. There are a number of opportunities that exist across the country. And if you want to make savings, if you want to have efficiency in terms of your labor force and so on, then moving beyond Accra will challenge the assumptions that the developers here often make. In the residential market, for example, the government also plays in that sector. And needless to say, that government is not in the business of business. Government wants to provide affordable housing, but we also want to work in partnership with you, the developers, to ensure that the residential market segment has predictable pricing, affordability, particularly for those of us in the diaspora that perhaps, for want of a better expression, want to really protect the purse, as it were. And so that residential sector, for example, has grown from 3.3 million structures in 2010 to over 6 million structures in 2021 and growing. And of course, these statistics are indeed statistics, and we can, jolt them as we wish. Now, for government, the most important category for us in terms of leapfrogging and ensuring that we operate at a higher value chains is on the industrial markets strategy and the industrial market segment in the real estate sector. I'm sure we've all heard of the 1D, 1F, the one district, one factory, which essentially means that the entire country is an industrial market segment for developers. In Ghana, currently, there are a number of industrial hubs that government is seeking to develop. And again, there's emphasis beyond Accra. So we have Tema, which is an industrial enclave, Kumasi, Takoradi, and the rest of the country. And these places are lagging behind Accra. The establishment of specialized industrial zones under the Ministry of Trade and Industries 10-point industrialization plan is an opportunity for private sector partners to come in and develop and upscale these industrial real estate base. There are some examples, particularly the Dawa Industrial Park. I'm sure if you've heard about it. The Dawa Industrial Park was developed by LMI Holdings, and government is opening the doors for developers to come into this segment. Now, industrial park investments are relevant, especially because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Have we heard of that? The AFCFTA. Right. Now, the AFCFTA, in our view, is a game changer. It provides the expansionist policies that we are looking for. It provides the export-led agenda that we are trying to build as a country. And it really will help us to intensify the industrial clusters in our country, particularly for the SMEs, and I'm sure a number of you here are in that SME category, to be able to develop these industrial parks, to export Ghanaian products into the 1.3 billion population market in Africa, which has a combined and growing GDP of $3.4 trillion. And in Ghana, it is instructive to note that the SMEs constitute about 60% of labor and contribute approximately 70% to our GDP. And so, yes, the residential is important, the commercial is important, but for us as a country to be able to leapfrog, we believe that developing the industrial clusters will help us to do so quickly. And let me just quickly run through some of the opportunities that are abounding in the sector. So in the residential development segment, there are affordable housing opportunities. There are opportunities to upscale slums into modern communities. There are rooms for private development and so on. In commercial property development, low-hanging fruit such as spa developments. There are not nearly enough spas in Accra. Leisure parks, entertainment centers, eco-lodges, coastal and inland lake resorts, sporting and recreational facilities, camping sites for those of you who are adventurous. These all constitute a real estate. So let us cast the conversation a bit wider beyond the homes segment. The industrial part I've already spoken about extensively. But importantly, there are also agro-processing opportunities, agro parks, where market women can bring their produce in a safe and regulated environment, that real estate providers can provide the basic services, the basic needs, water. These all constitute real estate opportunities. Automobile and vehicle assembly parks, textiles and garments and apparel parks, petrochemicals parks, ICT parks. These all constitute real estate and viable real estate alternatives. And as GIPC, the agency responsible for regulating investments in Ghana, we can use a number of tools to be able to attract and retain capital in this space. We have a number of exemptions and incentives regimes, tax exemptions, what we call strategic investments. So investments that are $50 million and above, you as the investor or the developer can come and sit with GIPC to negotiate a favorable set of tax assumptions and rebates. And GIPC is not a punitive institution. We are an institution that wants your money, frankly. We want your money to sit within the economy of Ghana, and we want to ensure that we remove all the stumbling blocks, all the bureaucratic impediments that withhold capital. And GIPC will also guarantee against expropriation. Nobody's going to wake up in the morning and expropriate your development. Ghana is not a banana republic. Ghana is a country of laws, and we operate within the confines of the law. And so you are guaranteed against expropriation. We welcome private investments. We ensure that there is transferability of your profits and dividends, especially if you have borrowed money from some of the banks here, Nationwide, Halifax, who are more open to lending to developers like yourselves to be able to build in Ghana. Now, if you want to expatriate your dividends back into the UK, GIPC, of course, once you meet all the tax and legal obligations, will ensure that there is safe passage for your dividends to be returned to service the loans here, or your dividends can be returned to your directors for whatever purpose. And so that is a cast iron guarantee that GIPC offers. We are also signatories to a number of international conventions. For example, MIGA. I'm sure those of you who are here know MIGA, and it's particularly important for developers to have those assurances and that insurance policy to be able to build and build effectively. But all of this is great, but we must also couch the conversation with some challenges. I'm not going to be here and paint a rosy picture. We all live in Ghana. I used to be here in the diaspora. I used to be here in the UK for many years. Now relocated to Ghana over the last 6 years. And there are a number of challenges. Notably, there are bureaucratic impediments, red tape. There's so much red tape in Ghana that we as an institution are working proactively to be able to reduce. We do so by working with sister agencies to stem some of these challenges that impede business and investment. There are issues around tax. I'm sure that the developers here will speak to that. There are infrastructure issues, the issue of erratic supply of power, the high cost of utilities, and so on and so forth. But of course, the mother of all those challenges is to do with our land tenure and ownership issues. And on that, please, I would please urge all of you to do your due diligence properly, effectively. And if you cannot do that due diligence on your own, or if you cannot rely on a trusted third party, a family member, to have that done, as you are here in the UK and you understand the services culture, please engage the likes of Gold Key, Val. I see my friend Saka Homes that operate in the, if you like, the middle segment of the market. Engage these people. That is their job, to help you understand some of the complexities when it comes to the land tenure and ownership issues. But ladies and gentlemen and friends, in closing, GIPC is a partner, and we will continue to advocate on your behalf. We welcome all kinds of capital, greenfield, brownfield, portfolio capital into the market. And we also remind ourselves that capital competes. And we should not be under any illusions that, yes, there is an upward curve, there is an upward yield and good returns in the market, and therefore Ghana should be that home for that investment. No. If you want to invest, that investment can go to Nigeria, that investment can go to Cote d'Ivoire, that investment can go anywhere for that matter. And so we must continuously and proactively work hard in partnership with yourselves to remove these impediments to portfolio capital, especially. And as GIPC, we can ensure that companies like yourselves have the tools and incentives and certainty to do business, repatriate capital, conclude on transfer pricing agreements, provide a liaison service through our aftercare division to address investor disputes. And we will continue to strengthen these existing partnerships and forge new ones and build linkages that are not hostile to trade and development. And with these very limited remarks, I should say, I wish us all a very fruitful engagement, and we will be here to answer any questions that you may have. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amoateng Afriyie. Ladies and gentlemen,